Hare Krishna. So it's normally like after Jai Radha Madhava Kirtan and then the lecture, right? This is how you go about, right?
Yes, Mataji. However you would like to do it.
Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Prajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Prajajanaranjana Yamuna Diravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Diravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Bhagavad Gita ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Hare Krishna. I'm meeting all of you for the first time. I'm very, very happy to see all of you. And I first of all would like to thank Lakshman and Prabhu for introducing me to you all. I have to mention to thank him that he was the one who initiated me into translation. Okay, because once long back when I joined ISKCON and I was in ISKCON Desiratory, I found his profile and the name itself was familiar because it was from our native, and the place also, his profile showed my native place. So it was the same native, and coincidentally, he's my relative, is my mother's side relative. He should be my brother, like that. So gradually, seeing me write in both English and in my native Tamil languages, he started asking me to translate some of the articles, Ekadashi Mahatmyam and all that. So I started translating for the group where he was that time. So he introduced me to that group also, and the Tamil group. So I started translating gradually, slowly with his the seva that I did for that group, and it extended to Sri Giridhari Prabhu, who is the leader at ISKCON BBT Tamil in Chennai. So I got introduced to him, and I somehow then it became really very I became really very passionate about translating, and with the training of Sri Giridhari Prabhu, I also attended some training programs conducted by Sri Giridhari Prabhu, and I'm very happy to be a part of them now. I get there is a Back to Godhead magazine in Tamil happens, which is called Bhagavad Darshanam. In that they give me articles, so I translate accordingly. They give me assignments and I do. So he opened a beautiful new chapter for me in my seva, that is translation, and now he has introduced me to you all, and opened another new chapter. So I'm very glad for that. I'm very thankful to him, and my Dandavat Pranam to all of you. I was told the 9.25 shloka of Bhagavad Gita. I request all of your blessings. I'm sharing whatever I understand. I'm only repeating what Prabhupada has said. I request pardon for any offense, any mistakes that I may commit. My pranam to all the elders and seniors over here. So now let us read the shloka and the purport, and then we'll move on to some of the realizations what I want to share. I hope I'm audible. The volume is enough. Good enough?
Yes, Mataji.
Yanti deva vrata devan pitrun yanti pitruvrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajinopi mam. Is it that you also repeat?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes? Okay. Yanti deva vrata devan.
Yanti deva vrata devan.
Pitrun yanti pritavrataha.
Pitrun yanti pitrvrataha.
Bhutani yanti bhutejya.
Bhutani yanti bhuteja.
Yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Yanti, go. Deva vrataha, worshippers of demigods. Devan, to the demigods. Pitrun, to the ancestors. I better take my book. Sorry. Yanti, go. Pitravrataha, worshippers of ancestors. Bhutani, to the ghost and spirit. Yanti, go. Bhuta yijyaha, worshippers of ghosts and spirits. Yanti, go. Mat, my. Yajinaha, devotees. Api, but. Mam, unto me. Those who worship the demigods gods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, on any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technically known as Darsha Paurnamashi. These are vividly described in the fruit of activities portion of the Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pita planets by performing a specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or raksha or pishacha. Pishacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that it is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods, one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas, achieve the Pita planets, or by practicing the black arts, achieve the ghostly planets, why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live, and because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. If we meditate upon this purport, what we observe, most of us who read Bhagavad Gita would have observed that Prabhupada concludes most of the purports with this message, right? We have observed this, isn't it? Newcomers who are reading, not very familiar with Prabhupada's writings may wonder, every shloka purport ends with such a similar message. Why? At least every 10 shlokas, Prabhupada says, simply by chanting, you can go back home, back to God. Isn't it? He says that. Aren't we wondering why? That's because Prabhupada is extremely merciful. See, he doesn't want an aspirant to read till the end, the entire Bhagavad Gita as it is, to become a devotee. Even when he's reading in between, every shloka that he reads, he may become, a devotee. Anyone reading the Bhagavad Gita may quit in between. They may not be able to see, not because they do not want to, maybe their practical situations may not be allowing them to read. So even until what they have read, if the message is gone to them, they may start chanting. That's why Prabhupada says this. Another reason why is not only a continuous reader, but a one-time listener. Sometimes there are his devotees or his disciples are preaching far and wide all over the world, right? So there may be one-time, listeners, one-time attendees. For them, if the message is given in that particular shloka itself, then the message is gone, right? They don't have to read the entire thing. At least a drop of it goes, then they may become a devotee. That's why Prabhupada gives the same message every shloka again and again. Isn't it? We observe this. And once this message goes, and it makes the devotees stay connected because they have taken the message, isn't it? And they come back on their own. And all we know, what magic happens after that. What devotee association can do to that person, isn't it? Now, coming to the shloka. Before coming to the shloka, I want to speak a little bit about the title of the chapter, the most confidential knowledge. See, I can't help meditating on that. That's right. The 9th chapter, it is the middle part of Bhagavad Gita, the central part, that is the most confidential knowledge. What does confidential actually mean? Once we have confidence in a person, we share something that is confidential. That's a secret. We don't share secrets with everybody, right? Even when kids at home, small kids, they're not kids, I should say, children above 15 or teenagers, do everyone share their mobile passwords to you? No. Email passwords? No. They are secret, right? So that's a secret. Secret is only given to that confidential person who wouldn't misuse, isn't it? Who wouldn't misuse the purpose of why it's given. So that the confidentiality of Bhagavad Gita, how secretive it is, can be explained like this. How, uh, like the first chapter sets the scene. Even in the introduction itself, Prabhupada says, one who has faith, at least theoretically, then you proceed reading, he says, isn't it? That's why when you read, it's important to read the introduction before we get into the first chapter. There, what Prabhupada says, he sets our mind for reading Bhagavad Gita itself. He says, at least accept Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at least theoretically, to study the Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have that conception, then you may not be reading it completely. You will not understand it fully. So he says that. So we accept by reading the introduction, we accept that we are going to read the Bhagavad Gita. And further, the first chapter sets the scene. The question starts there. And then the second chapter, the answer starts flowing. So now, second to sixth chapter is secretive. It's about the matter and spirit, and it is also confidential. It's confidential. It is not revealed to anybody. One who is not gaining the confidence in the introduction part is not going to come to the second chapter at all. So then this secret won't be revealed anyway to them. So one who gains confidence in Bhagavad Gita, then he proceeds to the second chapter. First, after that, the second. Then he gets some secret. Yeah, I can share something with you. So Prabhupada starts sharing, and Krishna starts sharing some secret, some message in the second. That is of matter and spirit. And then 7th and 8th chapters, more secretive, more confidential, about bhakti. So the first secret is called Guhya. After that is Guhya Tara. We say no, good, better, best. Like that. Secret, more secret, most secret. So this 9th chapter is Guhya Tamam, the most confidential knowledge, the topmost, the 3rd degree, superlative. The centralmost part is the most secretive, most confidential. Okay, this here he speaks about Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti means not Mishra Bhakti. Mishra Bhakti is a mixed Bhakti. The Bhakti that is mixed with karma, jnana, hatha, everything, yoga, everything. But here, this pure Bhakti is only Bhakti, nothing else. There is nothing else. There is no karma. It doesn't mean there is no karma, no jnana. Okay, that way we must have read earlier itself, isn't it? No karma, no action is possible. No, action is essential. It happens. You can't say there is no action. You can't be without acting. There is pulse in you. So your body automatically, there is action. Even involuntary, voluntary, everything happens. No karma is not possible. So karma is always there. So what kind of karma is recommended is no desire in the result. When the desire is kept in the result, then that becomes not a good karma. That's where it becomes karma kanda. You're interested in only in the result. Okay, not result oriented karma is what is recommended. Okay, what I will get back, what will be the benefit, that result or return profit that we are looking at should not be expected in karma. That's why it becomes seva. When you expect something, that becomes a job. When you do not expect anything, it becomes seva, right? When you expect something, how can you call it seva? So you're expecting your salary, then it's a job. You don't expect anything, people say, no, thankless job. There's some society secretary or something, some post you hold, they're all thankless. And this seva especially is devotional service. There is no return. As such, material return is not there. You don't get. But the result, we know, eternal benefit, isn't it? So that without any selfish motive. But we should not carry the, the expectation the result is going to give us. We should just keep doing, the result will automatically come on us. So that is the unselfish motive. With the service without unselfish motive should be our karma. That there is no return expected is Kevala Bhakti. That pure Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana Padyubhasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Krishna says, one who keeps me in his heart, in his chintanai, they say, no, in your heart, without any other motive or any other object of worship. Ananyas chintayantoma. One who doesn't have anyone else in the heart. Like, some other demigod, some Ishtadevata, another one I have. Not like that. You have only me, Kevala. Ananyas Chintayantomam. You have kept aside everything else and you have only me in the heart. I always protect you, he says. Our motive should be to attain that pure bhakti. So to Arjuna, Krishna gives a lot of options, bhakti options, like the paths, and he lets him, and he himself chooses the best one and gives. He doesn't let Arjuna choose. Like how we go buying things in Amazon and all that. It gives a comparative study, right? When you go, is a similar item, it gives its own options. Similar items you want to buy. And so one thing you want to buy, you can compare it with various brands. Like that here, Krishna himself presents before Arjuna various parts and shows a comparative study. That's what is in 25th shloka here. So how we shall see. And he explains how bhakti is the best. He compares everything and says how bhakti is the best. He's comparing bhakti to the Supreme Lord with that of the demigods, ancestors, and ghosts and spirits. And brings out how worshipping him is the best. So this is the comparative study, like one chart you remember. Demigods, ancestors, ghosts and spirits, and then this worship of the Supreme Lord. So, just before the previous verse, 23rd verse, he says how worshipping demigods with faith is actually worshipping Krishna himself. He says that saying thus, we can't continue doing so. So worshipping demigods is also worshipping Krishna. So why not worship demigods also? We may say, isn't it? We take always loopholes and we want to, penetrate into it. And take it to our advantage. We may say, no, worshipping that also is Krishna worship. No. We may say, and we will say, we will remain happy doing that. So why? It's not like that. Why? Because though it is worship of Krishna, it is done in a wrong way. It comes indirectly. Like, you love someone. Do you give proper food or you give junk food? And you want to grow a plant. You will water the root or you will water the leaves. Isn't it? So like that. Indirectly, water may fall to the ground. Even if you water the leaves, it may fall to the ground and it may nurture the root. But then it's all, what is the use of watering the leaf? Not necessary, right? Watering the root is what you have to do. So that is the right way of doing it. It's just an indirect way of watering the plant. Similarly, with the first example, feeding junk food. Is it indirect way of nutrition? Absolutely not. What does junk mean? Garbage, dust, isn't it? We are feeding poison. That's not good, isn't it? What are we feeding actually? The junk means it's poison in place of nutrition. So wrong way of loving, isn't it? So that's what Krishna says. In this case, worshipping demigods would still keep them in this cycle of birth and death. That's why it's bad. It is not right. The wrong way, he says. Why? Because it still keeps in the cycle of birth and death. That won't liberate them from the cycle. So though it is wrong, it is to me only, he says, that they are worshipping. It's indirectly coming to them. It's okay. It is like it's better than saying no God at all. There is no God. The atheistic sense, it's better than being atheist. So worshipping demigods is one step better than atheism, but then it is not as good as worshipping Krishna. Okay. So at least they have belief in demigods. They believe in something higher than them. So that is okay. That will gradually bring them to me, he says. So they gradually come to devotional service and to me. So this is what Krishna means here. In the next verse, he says, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. They worship demigods for temporary benefits, material benefits, isn't it? Prabhupada says, even if we have some material desire to be fulfilled, we can better pray for it to Krishna himself. Even when you have any material desire, don't go to different gods. He gives this, he gives this, she gives this. Don't go to different gods. Ask Krishna itself for everything, is what Prabhupada advises. Actually, that will fetch desired result. Maybe that will give us, more of detachment also by way of worshipping to Krishna. And it will keep us connected to Krishna also. Now, the shloka 9.25. One who worships demigods takes birth among the demigods. One who worships ancestors, go to the ancestors. One who worships ghosts and spirits, become. They don't even go, they become. Yaksha, Rakshasa, and Pishasha, they become. Who worships me, lives with me. What a great position, right? Actually, Prabhupada says, anyone who desires to go to other planets, there is a process. That is this. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrun yanti prita vrataha. This is the process. If anyone wants to go to any other planet, say moon planet, or we need not try to go by Sputnik, he says. Sputnik is a Russian word for, a fellow traveler. That was a satellite launched by the first satellite launched by the Soviet Union. So Prabhupada uses this particular word. He doesn't actually say satellite. He said Sputnik. How well informed he was to the trend he was talking that time. So he uses this word in one of his speeches. So we need not take that space vehicle, Prabhupada says. We see, going by space vehicles, have you seen those astronauts? They put a lot of protection packs and all that. Their dress itself is different. Because other planets, what they have, some have gravity, some do not have gravity, and the atmospheric pressure is different. Are we used to that? When we go in aeroplane also, can we open little bit, like in train or in bus, we open the window? Can we open in an aeroplane? No. Why? Because the atmospheric pressure is totally different outside, and they maintain a particular type of pressure inside the aircraft. So we are not supposed to open. So our body is not meant for that pressure and temperature and all that. So that's beyond our understanding. I just physics and all that is beyond my understanding. I can't understand. Many of us are like that. So, and our capacity to tolerate that kind of atmosphere is also, our capacity is very limited. We can't tolerate that. We are in this material body, right? So limited. To travel there literally is not possible. Yeah, we try to go wearing everything and everything, but that's not practical. But that is the way. That is Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. By worshipping the demigods, you will go to their planets, but not with the gross body. Gross body, we have already said, it is limited. It doesn't have the proper setup to go. It is not used to such an atmosphere, gravity, and everything. So we go with the subtle body, not with the gross body, subtle body. The living entity, the spirit soul, travels with its subtle body, depending upon its devata of worship to their respective planets. Like Chandraloka, Surya, Surya Loka, Indra, Swarga Loka, Brahma, Brahma Loka. Pitrun Yanti, Pitru Vrata. One who worship the Pitru, go to the Pitru planets. Depending upon what they worship, they go. What does it mean? Like a Pitru? Why? One who worships the Pitru, go to the Pitru planets. Why do we worship? Why should we worship the Pitru? Okay, a little bit of meditation on that. Like we have an affinity to our Pitra, father, mother, who must have departed. Yes, that's accepted. They are our well-wishers. We have a lot of our blessings, definitely. See, why do we worship? Some people are there, they have this ancestor worship, father, mother worship, and all that. Why do we worship? Because we have an affinity to them. We have affection towards them. That's why we worship. Some people pray, actually, ask benedictions from them. They say, I pray to my father, departed father, he gives me this, that. But if you just meditate upon that, should we really pray to them? Because they have already struggled a lot in bringing us up, in giving us whatever we want, and serving us till their last minute for our benefit. Even after their death, why do we have to go pray to them and ask our wish? You do. They are like, they will do their best, maximum capacity possible for us. They will definitely pray for us, and they will want to give what they want to with their capacity. But will they have a capacity more than that of Krishna? No. Their capacity is limited. Their benediction, what they can give us, is limited. They pray to God from their position. Because we are praying them, they pray to God, they pray to Krishna, and they try to take his benediction and give us, bless us. But why not worship directly? But it is not that we should not pray to them for our benefit, but we have to change that. We should pray for them. Worship Pitru means worship Krishna for the Pitrus. We have to not pray to the Pitru, but pray for the Pitru, for their well-being, for their onward journey, for their smooth journey, for their, reaching the destination, their destination to go back to Godhead in a smooth way. That's what should be our worship towards Krishna, for them, not to them. This is what somehow I felt. It is like Pitru means, why not? See, every year on their death anniversaries, we definitely have to remember them. Or during the Malaya Paksha and all that, we definitely do a lot of Pitru Karya has to be done. Why is it? Because not to ask them any more contribution. They have contributed so much for our well-being. Why should ask more from them? Why pray? No, we should pray for their well-being. Now that we are in this material body, we have the privilege of praying. So we have to pray for them. So there we, that's how the Pitru should not be prayed. If we pray Pitru, worship Pitru, then we may go to Pitru land. No, that's not we want. We will pray for them, but not to them. Okay, next. The third one is the worship of ghosts and spirits. It's really scary. Who will do that? One who does black magic. Black magic, the word itself makes you petrified, right? Highly scary, negative, undesirable. You do not want it. Ghosts and spirits, who are they? They are unsatisfied souls, and they have left their body. And so, see, how much of it's very easy to attract them. You have a similar thought, you will easily attract them. And that's how these black magic magicians, they attract these spirits and use them for their benefit. They at least get their satisfaction that they are, fulfilling their desire. Unfulfilled desires, they get satisfied by working for these black magicians. So your small intention to connect to them will connect you. This is very bad, no? Why to even think of them? No. So, so the next line, we will quickly go to the next one. This is not what we want. That's an absolute downfall. Why do we want that? No. So let's go to the next line. Yanti madhyajinopi mam. So there comes the fourth line. It's a big relief. My devotees come unto me and live with me, he says. Oh, this line actually, when you read, when you study in detail, you will really feel seeing the ghost and you become pishash, that actually petrifies you. You become very afraid. Oh, what is this? No. And the next line, Krishna says, relief. He gives a big relief. He is giving a soothing touch to us. He says, my devotees live with me. Oh, and I feel, oh, let me be his devotee. So to think of other things is like a bad dream. And now, once we wake up from the bad dream, we really tell ourselves, right? Oh no, that was a dream. That was a dream. No, I'm not in the hands of an elephant. I'm not in the hands of a tiger or something. I'm out of that. I'm out of that. We tell ourselves, we console ourselves, right? It's like that. Now we have this. It's not that we're not going to become ghost. We're not going to become pisasa. No, we are with Krishna. That's the wake up thing we have got. So we are feeling relieved and we are so peaceful thinking of that. I actually had this feeling while studying this shloka. So Prabhupada in the purpose speaks of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka. This see, when they can go there, why not the devotee will go to these planets? They will definitely go, he says. So worshipping Deva will go to Devaloka, Pitru Loka goes go to ghost planet. Then why not worshipping Krishna take us to Krishna Loka? So there is no doubt about it. This is an assurance given by Krishna. So, but why does everyone don't go there? Why doesn't everyone go there? Not everybody goes to Krishna Loka and Vaikuntha, isn't it? Because they have very less knowledge. No knowledge. They do not know such a thing exists. That's why they worship demigods. That's why they worship Pitru. That's why they do black magic. They are not having the knowledge of Krishna worship. But what is Vaikuntha? What is Krishna Loka? What is Goloka? They do not know. That's why they do all the other worship. That knowledge is what Krishna consciousness movement is distributing far and wide, every village and town, every nook and corner, as instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is actually happening now. I wanted to tell a little bit about Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka. In one of his letters, Prabhupada answers a question. What is the difference between a Vaikuntha Loka and a Krishna Loka? Vaikuntha Loka is where the devotees who follow the Vidhi Marg reach, and Krishna Loka is the planet where the devotees who follow the Raga Marg reach. He says the detailed description of this is given both the margs and all that. What they are written by Srila Prabhupada in the purport for a beautiful shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 24th chapter, 45 and 46. There he says, worshipping according to Pancharatra Vidhi is Vidhiman, and worshipping according to Bhagavata Vidhi. Bhagavata Vidhi is Pancharatra Vidhi is the regulative principles. You have a lot of principles. You know how to do arti, how to do deity worship, how you have to maintain yourself, and the place how you have to maintain. There are a lot of rules and regulations, what you have to take and all that. But here, worshipping according to Bhagavata Vidhi is Raga Marg. It doesn't have any rules and regulations. It's pure bhakti. It doesn't mean that you don't follow anything and you just follow that. It is like it's beyond that. It's beyond that, and it is pure bhakti. They don't stick to they automatically follow, but they are not conscious that they are following the rules. Now we see how do we do 16 rounds chanting as a rule. This is my rule. I have to chant. But some people, they don't even realize they are crossing the 16th round. Right? They are pure devotees. They don't even realize which round they are chanting. They may be in their 20th round or 24th round. They don't even realize. That is pure bhakti. They are beyond the rules and regulations. So that is what it is. So this Bhakti Marg is Lakshmi Narayana worship, and pure love is Radha Krishna worship. Like this Raga Marg, this Bhagavata Marg is found in the inhabitants of Vrindavana, Yashoda Maya, Nanda Maharaj, cowherd boys, gopis, cows. They were in Raga Marg, Bhagavata Marg. So because we find Radha Krishna deities, we should not think that we are in the Raga Marg and overrule the regulative principles. Prabhupada warns us. He strictly warns us, actually. Radha Krishna we worship, yes, but within Radha Krishna is Lakshmi Narayana. So we worship by Vidhi Marg, is what Prabhupada says. So and aspire to attain, we by worshipping Radha Krishna in the yeah, I'll attend that question. Yes. So to aspire to attain pure bhakti by worshipping Radha and Krishna in the Lakshmi Narayana form. Okay. So continuous chanting, we achieve the pure mercy, pure bhakti. And this chanting is given to us by Srila Prabhupada. So it's because of Srila Prabhupada that we are congregating to chant and sing and hear his glories. That's what you people are doing. And you know, I'm connected to you because of Prabhupada. So all his glories, all Krishna's glories, Prabhupada has written for us. We don't have to research and we go and speak, research and find out the glories of Krishna. It's all given by Prabhupada. We just have to read. We just have to hear people, speaking Prabhupada's writings. That's enough. He has made it very simple. Bhakti, Prabhupada has made very simple. Not to mention his language also is very simple. So he compares different paths and concludes. Like different paths lead to different destinations. Different paths do not lead to same destination. As people may say, they say like Mayavadis or impersonalists, when you see them, they tell us, yeah, I also worship that all paths are same only, they say, isn't it? Normally, generally people speak like that. All paths lead to same destination. It may be different paths, but the destination is the same. It is like all the rivers come to congregate in the sea. It's not like that. That's what the shloka says. Different paths lead to different destinations. So everyone need to understand and practically apply also. This is an important shloka with a deep meaning. So now just learn and keep as theory. We have to practically apply also. So how there was a question. So this is what I understood with this shloka. If I'm any corrections in my understanding, if you can, somebody can say more about it, you're most welcome to say. What are the steps to achieve bhakti yoga? Yes, Prabhuji. This Navamida Bhakti you must have heard of. Bhakti yoga is devotional service. So you can do bhakti in any one of the ways that suits you. Like first you chant and you do DT service. A DT service itself is, it has a lot of other services. So you engage yourself in the service of Krishna is a bhakti yoga. See, bhakti yoga means love of Godhead, isn't it? Love, when it is not expressed, it has no meaning, we say. But not only expression means what? Is it saying, I love you? No. Even in a relationship of father and son, imagine. What is practically a good father-son relationship? It is that every morning the father gets up and says, I love you, my son, I love you, my son. But he doesn't go to work. He doesn't earn. He doesn't provide for his son's education. He doesn't do anything for the son. But every morning he gets up and says, I love you, son. Is it a good father? No. What is the true meaning of expression of love? Doing something for the child. You're doing something for the child, serving the child. Improve, isn't it? Not just saying by words, doing, karma, karna chahiye, like that. So that's what. So Bhakti Yoga is not your love for God. It's simply, you say, I'm a surrendered soul. I know I'm not body. I'm the soul. I know I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I know I have to chant. Is that so? No. You practically apply. You go serve. You chant. That is Bhakti Yoga. You do service to Krishna. You do what Krishna has said. What is expected of you. Doing is simply, that's why Prabhupada never says devotion. He says devotional service.
Okay. Now, the second part of this question, excellent what you said. But if someone does karma yoga without intuitive results, can he reach the bhakti yoga level, or is it a step?
No, he will definitely reach, Prabhu. Like karma yoga is a step towards bhakti yoga. It's only like it is not that he will stay there only. There will come a stage. Krishna is always having an eye on everybody, right? So he may be doing karma on the for a fruitive benefits, yes, but then he must be doing it for his prescribed duties sake. So that Krishna will definitely take him to the next step. Definitely, he won't stay there itself.
Suppose if I serve people who are destitute, who needs help, because they are Krishna's children. So if I serve them, is that a bhakti for Krishna Seva?
Come again, Prabhu?
I mean, if I serve the people who are downtrodden in the society, who need help, if I help them without any fruitive results,
correct,
is it bhakti yoga? Can you reach the
that's not bhakti yoga, but that will give them temporary benefits to to those downtrodden people. In another place also, Krishna says this helping the downtrodden, helping the society, helping the country, it's also not wrong. At least there you're developing a renouncing attitude, sacrificing attitude you're developing. That will gradually grow to sacrificing your time for Krishna also. That will lead to Bhakti Yoga at one point. So that is not negated altogether. But at the pure Bhakti level, helping downtrodden on the spiritual level is better than on the material level.
Definitely. I mean, no results is expected.
No result may be expected, Prabhu. That will be, yes, no result expected. But that is what is sacrifice, right? You sacrifice your money or your needs, efforts to them. You don't expect anything back, but then you do. But that sacrificing nature is good. You have to nurture that. But that's what Krishna said, that gradually goes to the level of sacrificing yourself for Krishna's sake. So this is not totally negated, but at the pure bhakti level, this is not advised.
I see. Now there are a lot of yoga. So which one to follow? There are 8 yoga, and then I read something about 20 different yogas. So it's very confusing.
Yes. Yeah. That's what, Prabhu, this Ashtanga yoga, they say, no? They are the steps of one yoga only. They are not 8 different yogas. They are the steps, different steps. And the Samadhi is the topmost. So that is the Ashtanga yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pratyahara, all that steps. It is nothing but the rules and regulations one has to follow to attain the Samadhi stage. There is absolute peace. Okay. But what Krishna advises is, one who is my pure devotee surpasses all this. And he doesn't have to take this path at all. This 8 ladder is not required. He's already there. One who is my devotee, one who is devoted, one who stands, one who is surrendered to me, he is equal to the Samadhi stage. He doesn't have to undergo all this. He is beyond all this. He transcends all this, is what Krishna
Now
says.
you mentioned about Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka. Then there are the Chandra Loka and all this Loka.
Yeah.
But how can someone be in the Surya Loka? Is it hot?
If they are Surya worshippers, they want so much heat. Maybe. No, it's the subtle body, Prabhu. It is not the real body. That's what, no? Different places are different atmospheric conditions. But we definitely, absolutely impossible to stay with our gross bodies. Stula body, sukshma body, that subtle body is what we reach there. But some may be, Aditya, Surya worshippers, no? So they may reach there, is what Krishna says.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. This was asked by whom, Prabhu? I'm not able to get, I didn't, this, who asked, Prabhu, this question? Madan Kundu? Okay. Hare Krishna. Got it. Understood. Yes, yes. Yeah. So hope any seniors here who can guide me whether I was right enough, was a convincing answer, is fine.
Sure. Well, I'm learning.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
Any other questions?
Different kinds of yoga. I don't understand. That's confusing.
Yeah.
Some places 8 yoga, 8 types of yoga. Other places 20 different yoga. Which one to follow?
Yes, Prabhu. Like that is what it is. Here I told you, no, in Amazon you go 100 things is in front of your eyes. What is the best? This is what Krishna says. Different things you do, you will get different destinations. Your final destination is reaching. You should get away from the cycle of birth and death, right? So after death, you have to go to some place where you don't come back. From where you can't come back, only from Vaikuntha, you won't come back. See, even from Swargaloka, you have a lot of punya. You have done a lot of philanthropy and you have a lot of punya. No power at all. Still, you will come back.
Oh.
Once your punya is over, you will come back. You will be born in a better position. Everything with a punya. You will come back. But that's why we have to surrender even the punya to Krishna. No, I don't want punya also. I neither want punya nor papa. So papa, you can't say you do, and then you can't say I don't want. You should not do only. Get me? Power is not like you do the power, you accumulate, still you don't want, you can't say. You don't do power, so that power doesn't come. But with punya, you should not stop doing punya and say, yeah, because I don't want punya, I don't want to do. No, not like that. You do, surrendering the fruitive results, the punya that your what you may get returned to Krishna, and then keep doing the selfless service you keep doing.
Sure.
I do, but I surrender this to Krishna. I don't want this punya. I don't want to carry. That is also a burden because you have to live another life for that. You don't want life. That should be your aim.
Sure. Thank you, Mataji.
So much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Lakshmana Prabhu wanted to ask.
Even in this loga, they mentioned if you worship devas, you take a birth. If you worship the Pitrus, you take a birth. But if you worship me, you live with me. He didn't say you take a birth in this Krishna loga. He says you live with me. So he says
that's because it is not birth, no, Prabhu. Yeah, you go. Your subtle body goes, and you live with them. It is not another birth at all. It is death only.
Yeah, we guarantee.
Any other questions or realizations from the audience?
I have one question.
Yes.
As I understand, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, I can.
As I understand from 6.25, if we do something, we will achieve the goal. That's what this, in my expression, that's what I understand. So if we worship, we will reach to the, if we worship the demigod, we will reach the demigod. If we worship ghost, you will reach to that. If we worship some ancestors, so you will remain in there. And finally, the conclusion coming from there, if we worship me, which means the Krishna or God, you will remain there.
Correct.
the questions coming from there. If we try worshipping God and we'll reach Krishna, and if everybody tries and everybody is successful, everybody reach to him. The next question comes, what about the progeny? Because there is nobody to worship at the end if everybody is successful. So in other words, this world will be the people without worshipper, because there is no progeny from there. It's not coming back.
Oh, okay. No, Prabhu, actually, there is enough. There are a lot of, it's like, you cannot see only the human form of birth. There are a lot of even animal form, they are also living spirits, right? So there are a lot of, lots.
I agree that if everybody does that, this world will be the creatureless. It will be just a matter.
Yes. That, no, we are into Kali Yuga.
Result into that. Am I right?
Yes,
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
Yeah. That is the ultimate goal. But we are in Kali Yuga, and worship to the Supreme Lord is not that easy. That is why it's like you have the sieve, right? Sieve, you atta and all, we sieve. Huh? The bigger parts stay on top and the fine parts go down, isn't it? Like that. Yes. Krishna always keeps that attractions for us here and there. That's a free will. With our free will, we get attracted here and there, and he doesn't stop us. He says, if you're happy with this, you continue. And who is not attracted, still filtered, they are only taken. It's not easy to go. It's not easy. Even for practicing devotees, undeviated bhakti is very difficult. It's not as easy that everybody will go to the Vaikuntha Loka where you don't return. It's really very hard. So for a time to come that everybody goes there and there is no progeny, lot of time is there. Lot of time, like how Yuga, so much of years are remaining, no, in Kali Yuga. So we don't have to be worried. Oh, Pralaya aega, we will also be, in that thing, we will also die or what? No, we know there are lots of years remaining in Kali Yuga. Nothing will happen to us. That security sometimes we feel, no, like that only. It's not that easy. Not at all easy. There are a lot of attractions. It's a lot of challenges coming in the path of bhakti, and that is an ideal situation that you're talking about.
Yes.
That we have a long way to go till there. That everybody is a practicing devotee who is trying to achieve that. But it's very difficult. We are feeling, no, we are seeing Kali Yuga, how it is unfolding, how the next generation is coming up. It's very difficult to make people understand bhakti. It is not happening that easily. But yet there is one side, you can see new centers, ISKCON centers coming up at different places due to the mercy of Prabhupada, and there are devotees preaching many places, new places. Nook and corner of the villages and towns, it is now spreading, but then there is still a long way to go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Her Grace Malini Karuna Mataji, for giving such an exceptional presentation on Bhagavad Gita, especially this most important verse where you elaborately broke down every single part and explained it in such a way that we can all relate to it and understand. So thank you so much, Mataji, and also answering all these questions in such an elaborate way. We feel so enlightened by you, and you gave such an interactive class, and we really would love to hear from you more and more again in the future. So please give us your association, and we're really grateful to you for giving us your valuable time and association today, even though it's very late in India right now. So we really appreciate you for being with us. So now we will move on to the final part of the program, which is Arati. And we will be offering lamp and all paraphernalia on behalf of all of you. So you will get to take darshan. And we'll also combine Kirtan with Arati today since it's almost 12:30. So please stay with us if you can.
Yes, definitely. See, since you asked me to come again, I request you, please keep me in your service. Please call me. That is giving me a really enriching experience to study in detail. I don't go, unprepared for any class. I spend a lot of time. I study, so that is really enriching to give such a serious study. So thank you so much for calling and help me serve you more. Thank you so much.